Welcome to part 3 of the series Music Theory for Beginners. In this video, I will discuss intervals. Intervals are used for creating melodies, building chords, they make up scales, so it's useful to know about them. You often hear things like major second, perfect fourth, etc. But what are they? Simply put, an interval is a difference in pitch between notes. If we go back to our C major scale, C is the root note. In this scale, D is the second of C, or from C to D is an interval of a second. E is the third of C, etc. In classical music theory, these intervals are also called a major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, and major seventh. So F is the perfect fourth of C, for example. Now this doesn't change or add anything per se, it is just the more traditional way of naming intervals, and it does give you more info about how big the interval is. If we want to describe the distance from one note to any other note in the musical alphabet, it gets a little more complicated. Let's use the C as a root note again, and how it relates to the other notes of the musical alphabet. If we would play two identical C notes in a row, it's called a unison, or a perfect unison. The other intervals that we just learned stay the same, but you can see that the major changes to minor when the distance is half a step less. So from C to C sharp is a minor second. From C to D sharp is a minor third, to G sharp a minor sixth, and to A sharp is a minor seventh. The note in between the two perfect intervals, a distance of 6 half steps, is called augmented fourth or diminished fifth. If we go from C to another C, or from any note to another note with the same name, at a higher or lower pitch, this is called an octave. When the distance is 1 octave apart, it's called a perfect octave. On a piano, this is super easy to find. You just move 12 keys, counting black and white, to the left or right. On a guitar, it's a little harder, but there are several fixed octave shapes, and once you know them, they're easy. The simplest way to find an octave is to pick any note and go up 12 frets on the same string. You will notice they sound the same, but at a different pitch. They're 1 octave apart. Memorizing these octave shapes is a great way to familiarize yourself with the fretboard. This was part 3. I hope it was helpful and that I'll see you in the next part, which will be about triads.